So you click this video because your health is at a bad place, and that tells me either one of three things. Either you're fat, either your confidence is really low and you're not proud of the person you are, or you constantly make poor lifestyle choices, and that's basically affecting everything else in your life. The bad news is you're lazy and you still haven't taken accountability for some reason, and you not prioritizing your health is basically affecting everything in your life, from your sleep to your energy to your sexual health to your mood to how you look. And I'm not kidding when I say everything. The good news is we can fix that if you watch this video till the end. This isn't going to be your usual lose fat, build muscle video, get 9 hours of sleep, eat vegetables, be more of a holistic approach to health using some of the esoteric and unconventional methods that I've learned about over the years, from being a skinny kid with super high anxiety, brain fog, and just not being proud of the person I was, to actually making the right lifestyle choices, doing things that I want to do every day, enjoying my life, and having a purpose and a good trajectory. When I was 20 years old, I moved to Melbourne to study a chiropractic degree. I was always healthy, vibrant, into sports, movement, and I thought that would be in alignment with what I wanted to do. I arrived there, and within 8 months, I left. Partly because that city just did not feel like it aligned with the person I wanted to be. It was during the COVID lockdowns. And as you can understand, when you live in a household of 4 with only 2 people, and you basically experience zero human connection, you get no sunlight, you don't exercise, and you're eating horrible food because you are just simply uneducated about what is real food, you're going to feel terrible. Just think about it on a humane level. Think about every day how many people you interact with, your family, your friends, loved ones, people you have a close relationship. Think about going from interacting with 20, 30, 50, 100 people every day, people that you genuinely love and you have a good social connection with, to absolutely zero. Think about what that would do to your mental state and how that would affect your mind. Me being someone that is extremely social, loves chatting with people, loves having fun, laughing, connecting, that really affected my mental health. At the same time that I was going through all these things, I for some reason decided to go vegetarian. After 8 months of living in Melbourne, going in and out of lockdowns, I decided to move back to where I currently live, due to a few different reasons, not just the fact that where I was living wasn't for me, and I decided to basically just completely reset my life. That moment almost felt like rock bottom. I was feeling really shitty in my skin, wasn't confident, my diet was just horrible. So I knew I needed to do something to change. I decided to eat well, exercise, post on my Instagram, and I guess you could say this kind of sparked this curiosity and this journey of self-improvement. This path basically led me down this whole crazy rabbit hole of being a low vitality person with no energy, anxiety, and just not feeling comfortable in my skin, to a person with peak vitality, high testosterone. I stayed below 15% body fat year round. I'm very happy with my current physique and my athleticism. I play in a highly competitive sports league. In this video, we're going to discuss some of my health fundamentals. We're going to be covering training, nutrition, and a few other important lifestyle factors. The first and likely the most important aspect we're going to cover is training. I know some of you may say nutrition is way more important than training. However, nutrition is your backbone in terms of your health. However, training is going to provide you that additional stimulus to change, to grow. You're going to feel so much better overall and be more confident because you know you're more physically capable. People talk about all the benefits you get from eating certain foods, but very little people talk about the actual science and physiological benefits of training, where you get that hormone upregulation. It increases your metabolism. It induces detoxification through sweating. You gain so much more mental clarity. Your mood overall increases. There are so many benefits to training that go way beyond simply attaining a better physique or improving your 5K. Some of the important aspects that you need to cover when you design your training program. Personally, for me, I want to take these 10 factors into consideration, and if you don't, you will simply lack the ability to be confident in all areas of your training. I'm also going to link you guys a 3-day-a-week full body training routine that I use in the off season. That is my favorite training program to follow. You get so much out of it, you guys don't even understand. So if you want to try a new training program, it's 3 sessions a week, it's full body, and it just covers pretty much most of these elements that I'm talking about. Check out the link in the description below. It's completely free. I think you guys are gonna love it. A common issue in today's current landscape of training is that you have bodybuilders that have an amazing physique get fatigued when they walk up a flight of stairs and are always dealing with some sort of shoulder pain or back pain or aches that they just can't get rid of, and they're always pushing through it. And then you have the complete other side of the spectrum where you have runners that run marathons, have insane cardio, yet they look like twigs. And then you have athletes, minus a select few athletes, I'm not going to include all athletes in this field, that have great cardio and great athletic ability, yet they lack just not having the physique that they would exactly desire, having poor mobility in some areas, which is bringing back reoccurring injuries that is simply holding them back. Which brings me to the understanding as to why things like high rocks and the whole hybrid athlete trend, or people that lift starting to run marathons, is becoming so popular. People simply want to become more competent in all areas of training. With that being said, how can you include all of these 10 aspects of training into your routine, or somehow blend it into your current training routine? I want to highlight that I'm an athlete. I'm currently in my football season, which means my focus has shifted from focusing on hypertrophy, progressive overload, and actually gaining muscle to more athletic tendencies such as cardio, my agility, my speed, my plyometrics, and my jumping power. On top of that, I am training twice a week with my team, and I have a game most weekends. So if you're someone like me that plays an actual sport, I would suggest that during your sporting season, you actually give all of your attention to your sport. You really hone down on becoming as good as possible at that specific sport, if that is something that you want to do, and if that is something that you are serious about, as well as prioritizing recovery as much as you can. If you are an athlete and you want to be better at your sport, I'd suggest that focus on that mainly, and then outside of your sport, keep it minimal. Make sure when you do train, it's far away from your other training days so you have enough time to rest and recover. Only do things like light training sessions, light lifting sessions, shorter runs like 5 to 10 Ks, a few sprints here and there when you do have consecutive days off. Just for example, on Friday, I had my Anzac Cup finals. I have training this coming Tuesday. Today is Monday. I didn't train on Saturday or Sunday, but now I will have a light session today on Monday. Nothing too intense, so I can be fully recovered and not fatigued for tomorrow's training Tuesday. Although I can push myself a little bit further because my game is in 6 days from now, on Sunday. If you are an athlete and you're in the off season, I would suggest you can be a little bit less strict with your training. You can go to the gym more, you can have a little bit more fun, you can participate in casual or social sports with your friends, as well as focus on recovering your injuries and getting fully up to scratch for the upcoming season. Now, if you aren't an athlete and your training is consistent year round and you want to be competent in all of those 10 areas that I mentioned, which you should 100% strive towards, your physique is super important, I understand. So is all of these other areas of your training. I would suggest you guys create yourself a really well-balanced workout split. I'm going to put on the screen what a rough schedule in a week looks like, which covers all of these 10 elements. Obviously, there are deeper elements that I mentioned within those 10 that aren't going to be visible on the weekly training routine. However, I'm sure you guys can understand that you can implement them yourself. If you don't know how this looks, I've created a 3-day full body training routine that I have tried and tested myself. That is one of the best workout routines that I've ever done. and it's a full 8-week program completely free. Moving on to nutrition. Look guys, nutrition is an absolute whirlwind when it comes to what works for people, what doesn't. So instead of me giving my whole nutrition ethos, I'm going to give you guys some foundational structures that I follow to feel and perform at my best. Some of the important factors that I follow is prioritizing animal-based protein. That's just the best protein, in my opinion. It's the most bioavailable, it has the best amino acid content, and you get so much more than just the protein within animal-based proteins. I get my protein from things like red meat, chicken, fish, eggs, dairy, oysters. Avoid seed oil, alternatives rather than using seed oils like beef tallow, olive oil, ghee, butter. Those health benefits rather than just being a machine lubricant that have no benefits and are horrible for your health. Another thing I like to do is eat mostly organic where I can. I understand that this isn't doable for a lot of people due to it being expensive or hard to source. In terms of performance, I like to eat a lot of carbohydrates, and when I say a lot, I mean a lot. I don't shy off on carbohydrates before and after my training sessions. I genuinely feel that when I eat a lot of carbohydrates, I perform so much better. So don't think that eating a lot of carbohydrates will make you fat. If you train at high intensities, they won't, and you will feel absolutely amazing in your cardio sessions, in your sports sessions, and in your lift. There's some superfoods, to name a few, that I find when I eat these things, I feel so much better. Raw honey, oysters, organ meats, meat, eggs, organic berries, raw dairy, and sweet potatoes. If you have those foods, in my opinion, you're good. There are obviously so much more that I haven't mentioned here, but I feel like these foods are just genuinely superfoods. I also prioritize a lot of minerals and electrolytes in my diet. I take specific electrolyte powders. I'm always drinking things like coconut water, orange juice, and eating fruits that are very high in electrolytes. Minerals are super important, and I feel like they're neglected, especially if you're drinking alcohol or drinking excess coffee. There are a lot of things that deplete minerals in your body, and we're just not aware of that. So having a good mineral supplement that's clean, it doesn't have any bullshit excess fillers or silicon dioxide or ingredients that are bad for you. Getting a really clean magnesium. My favorites are either magnesium L-threonate or magnesium glycinate. Getting magnesiums that are high quality using the same principles as the electrolyte supplement, not having any bullshit in it, are going to make you feel so much better and just going to absolutely level up the way you feel. I could talk about supplements for a lot longer, but I'm not going to, because that's going to be for another topic. So if you guys want to hear more about supplements and things that I use for improving my performance, let me know in the comments and I'll run through those on another video. If you guys do actually want to learn more, I have a full nutrition guide ethos that I've wrote. I'm also going to put the link for that in the description. It's going to cover, you know, my favorite macronutrients, such as going through some of my favorite protein, carbs, fats. I'm going to give you guys some meal examples and some inspiration that you can go through. I also have added a few extra random bits and pieces, like a caffeine guide and how to effectively drink coffee in order to actually maximize its benefits and not have that caffeine crash and not have it affecting your sleep, which is arguably super important. So check out my nutrition guide. I think you guys will get a lot out of it. I've put a lot of work into it. No ChatGPT, just straight wisdom. Your training is important, your nutrition is important. However, what you do outside of those things is going to be the most important. Training doesn't matter, nutrition doesn't matter if your lifestyle is shit. If you're getting bad sleep, if you're going out every weekend, your social life is horrible, none of those things matter. So your lifestyle is going to play a massive role in actually elevating your health. And this is a big part that people seem to neglect talking about when it comes to your health. It's not just about what you eat. It's not just about your training. It's about the consistency of your habits and how healthy those habits are, and if your mindset is actually good, and if you are, you know, mentally in a good place and happy with your life. So many people getting on the health train, they start to eat steaks or food and chopping boards with avocados, runs, and then do lifting, and they're doing the whole hybrid athlete thing. But then they just neglect so many other important things, such as the optimizing your sleep. I'm going to cover that in a few moments from now. Things like actually knowing how to regulate your circadian rhythm, minimizing things like blue light, optimizing sunlight exposure, because sun is huge for health. And so many people don't have a nice, beautiful tan, and it shows, and that will affect your health. I promise you. Get some sun. Doing things like spending time in nature, going to waterfalls, going to the beach, hanging out with the right people is also very important. I spoke about that. I did a whole video how to make genuine and authentic connections in your life. One of the most important lifestyle factors that truly thread the needle for me, when I do this thing, I feel 10 times better. It honestly doesn't matter what I'm eating. It doesn't matter what my training is like. When I'm getting sun, I feel amazing. I don't care what anyone says. I feel absolutely amazing. The sun is good for you. Do not fear the sun. And there is so much evidence to back that information. If you're worried about getting burnt from the sun or sunburn, there are so many holistic methods and different things you can do in order to not get burnt. I never use sunscreen personally. I believe it's poison. I believe it's not good for you. Some of the major benefits of getting more sun include supporting vitamin D levels, which is huge. Boosting your hormones such as dopamine and testosterone, aligning your circadian rhythm, as we mentioned earlier, as well as giving you a glorious tan, which makes your skin feel smooth and makes you look and feel significantly better. You should ideally be getting sun as soon as you wake up in order to align your circadian rhythm. I much rather spend 5, 10, 15 minutes soaking up some sun than drink a coffee upon waking up. So I wake up naturally rather than just spiking my cortisol straight away, giving me an energy crash. You'll see I mentioned this in the nutrition guide. I also don't believe in wearing sunglasses when you're out in the sun. Sunglasses confuse your body's ability to adapt, since your eyes play a large role in regulating your skin's ability to adapt to the sun, which can often be the reason why you get burnt in the first place. Ideally, be getting as much sun as possible throughout the day and be watching the sunset in the afternoons if you can, or just being outside. The UV light is going to set your circadian rhythm by signaling to your brain that it's nighttime. It's going to trigger the release of melatonin, which helps you wind down and relax and thus sleep better. This isn't really related to the sun, but it's something that's important and is related to your light environment, is minimize your blue light exposure after sunset. When your brain sees blue light, it can't tell the difference between the sun or light. So when your brain sees overhead light, you are almost confusing your brain and body by signaling to your body that it's daylight. If you can't dim those lights or have lights that are below eye level, change your light bulbs, get some red lights or some warm lighting like the light behind me, or get yourself some blue light blockers. Grounding is another really important one that I think everyone should be doing. One of the most underrated health hacks that you're probably already doing, but you're probably not aware of its profound benefits and actually how powerful it is. And I'm only going to cover the tip of the iceberg. When you make direct contact with the earth, whether it's grass, sand, or even going for a swim, you basically absorb the earth's natural electrons, which have been shown to reduce inflammation, increase blood flow, help you sleep better, reduce stress, and give you more energy. Surrounded by lots of EMFs, electromagnetic fields, which can cause negative impacts to our health. Grounding is a very powerful tool for mitigating this. Grounding also improves your immune function, can even go as far as helping your body recover from injuries significantly faster by massively reducing inflammation. I'm not going to tell you how long or how much you guys need to do this. Do it as much as you can, whenever you can. And I know you guys can feel the benefits. I know you know what I'm talking about when you go for that walk on the beach and you just feel this additional sense of relaxation. That's the earth telling you, hey, it's all good. You're grounded. You're one with nature, or whatever you want to believe. But there are insane benefits to grounding that just go way beyond the woo-woo, oh wow, I'm grounding, I'm earthing. The last point I wanted to highlight, And I've already mentioned this so many times throughout this video, which again further amplifies and reiterates how important this is sleep. Without good sleep, your body's just simply not going to perform. And we all know the difference in terms of how it feels between getting a really nice 9-hour sleep and a 4 to 6 hour sleep. It's insane. I've even tested what it's like to get a really good 9 to 10 hour sleep having 5 or 6 drinks versus having 2 to 3 drinks and getting 4 to 5 hours of sleep. And the difference I feel is insane. When I get the longer sleep, I don't even feel hungover. Convinced that the hungover feeling is predominantly just simply lacking sleep. Alcohol and weed, or any substance for that matter, is not helping you sleep better at all. So that 1 to 2 drinks that you're having to just wind down or relax, or that joint you're having at night, is not helping you get better sleep. I can assure you that. I used to smoke every night before going to sleep, and it would make me feel more relaxed in the moment, but I would wake up feeling foggy, so drained and unmotivated. As soon as I stopped smoking, I just felt so much better. You've created this psychological habit where you connect smoking a joint to going to sleep, so you've created this sense of dependence. Now you can't sleep well without it. Getting poor sleep will literally affect everything else that's going on in your life, so you may as well actually try to optimize it now and start getting some good sleep. One of the main things you can do is create an environment that actually welcomes you to have a good night's sleep. These are a few of the things that I like to do that I feel like actually do thread the needle and are some of the bigger ones and often aren't mentioned in your ChatGPT. How do I get better sleep? One of the main things is avoiding blue light before going to sleep. You do need to use your screens. I have features on my computer. The lights become significantly more warm. The eye strain is significantly lower. I have settings on my phone, a red light mode, which also turns on automatically as soon as the sun sets. Want to completely remove all bright LED light after sunset. Not drinking caffeine later than 12 p.m. If you're sensitive to caffeine and if you actually use it effectively, you're not going to be someone that's drinking 3-4 coffees a day. Oh yeah, I have a coffee at 8 p.m. and it doesn't affect me. That's probably because you've just abused way too much caffeine in your lifetime, and one coffee gives you no buzz or cognitive benefits anymore. So I'd look to maybe taking some time off coffee or looking to change that. You can check out my nutrition guide, and I go over the important things that you need to know when it comes to drinking coffee effectively. Another important thing, as I mentioned earlier with the circadian rhythm, is going to sleep and waking up at the same time. I tend to try and be asleep by no later than 10:15 and wake up anytime before 8 o'clock, depending on my physical activity levels the previous day or what I need to do that coming day. Basically what happens is when your sleep is consistent is that you are signaling to your body that within these times, this is when I rest, recharge, and recover. And outside of these hours, when I'm supposed to be awake, when I should have energy. That's what you're signaling to your body. If you actually align your circadian rhythm, you're going to wake up naturally at the same time every day, and you're going to feel amazing for doing so. You are already spending a third of your life in your bed. You may as well do what you can to make that bed as cozy and comfortable and fitting to you as you can. What that could look like is getting a better bed, testing and trialing out things like grounding sheets. And one thing I would 100% recommend you do, get some high quality bed sheet, either cotton, silk, linen, or bamboo. No polyester. Polyester is a derivative of plastic. You don't want to be sleeping on plastic. Bamboo, cotton, linen feels so much better. Get yourself a high quality pillow as well. You are already on a really good trajectory to get better sleep. Then you can do other smaller things, which I still think there's a lot of benefits. Let's look into doing things like mouth taping. You can get a nasal strip. You can take specific supplements that will help you for your sleep. Things like magnesium, even baking soda has been shown to improve sleep. If you start doing those things, I almost guarantee you that you will start to sleep significantly better and start feeling overall much better. All right, I honestly believe if you actually implement these things into your lifestyle, you will feel significantly better and your health will significantly improve. If you're serious about your health, start making those lifestyle choices and you will be so much better for it. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys soon.